Hey, my name is Kyle Rush, and you are watching the No Counts Given podcast. Dance Team Union is a proud sponsor of the No Counts Given podcast, and I have some very exciting news to share with you. DTU will be launching their annual Instagram flight contest powered by Spirit Airlines. Now, this is to provide an opportunity to earn funds towards your nationals travel. DTU's motto, "We're here for you," continues to drive their commitment to supporting teams. Even if you are unsure whether or not you are going to attend the 2026 DTU National Championship, I still encourage you to participate in this event. And in celebration of 10 seasons of Dance Team Union, they will award unique entries with special prizes throughout the contest, ranging in value from $200 to, get this, $1,000. For more information on how to participate and earn funds for your travel, go to www.danceteamunion.com.
Welcome back, or welcome to the No Counts Given podcast, the premier podcast for Dance Team. I am your host, Kyle Rush. You will be with me every single Thursday, okay? Every single Thursday, join us. We are here covering dance team trends, dance team competition, coaches changes, recruiting, all of the sorts here on the No Counts Given podcast. Listen, we had a lot of great feedback to our first episode last week with Melissa and Amanda, and I'm just so happy with the overwhelming amount of support that people were sending me messages, all the comments, all the DMs. I am just so thankful that people are loving the podcast so far, and stay tuned with us. Okay, listen. If you are watching on Spotify, I need you to do me a favor. You need to be following us, for one. For two, rate the show. After you watch an episode, rate the show, whether that's 1 star, 5 stars, whatever you want to give us, rate the show. We want feedback. I really want feedback. I want to know, what are we doing right? What are we doing wrong? What do you want more of? And then on top of that, if you're watching on TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, make sure you make sure you're subscribing, make sure you're following us, because you don't want to miss out on all of the exciting things that we have going on here on No Counts Given. Today is a very fun episode. I have Sammy McFadden with us, LSU Smooth Criminal Queen, LSU Like a Boy Queen, Coral Reef, Alicia Keys Fallin Queen. Just recently I saw choreographing for the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders tour, like infamous here in the dance team world. We have her here on today's episode of No Counts Given. We go into some very fun topics, so make sure you are listening all the way throughout for the interview. Now listen, I have a very exciting segment. Like you heard me say in last episode today, we are covering dance team trends. Today's segment, this is called the Trendsetter Report. Now, if you are at the Tribe 99 combo, or if you're even on TikTok or Instagram, you saw Sammy's combo sticky going around all over the place, okay? I went through, I found 6 of my top favorite takes of this routine, okay? 6 top favorite takes. I sent messages to these people. I said, hey, are you okay if I share this on my podcast? Of course, all of them were like, yes, please do. We love it. Go for it. On top of that, though, I want to add, if you potentially one day want to be featured on an episode of No Counts Given, I need you to be following us on TikTok and Instagram, whether that's my personal one, it's Kyle Rush, or that's the No Counts Given account, No Counts Given. Follow us, okay? I tend to usually reach out to people who are following us already. You're supporting us. I want to be supporting you 110%. Without further ado, let's get into these 6 top sticky combos by Sammy McFadden at the Tribe 99 Combine. I lost the word. Tribe 99 Combine, which was actually the day right before we shot this interview. 5 of these are dancers that were at the Combine. I have a special one. I'm going to save it for the very end. You got to watch it. If you haven't watched it, if you haven't seen it on your For You page, you got to see it. If I was a college coach, these dancers that I'm about to talk about, I would have them on my radar. I would be reaching out to them. Come to a class for free, come to a practice for free, practice with our team, come to a football game, come to a basketball game. I honestly, these dancers, we got to watch out for. I cannot wait to see where they are dancing in college, their future in dance. I'm just very excited for these dancers. So let's get into it. The Trendsetter Report, here we go. All right, first, we have Naomi. Clearly a straight powerhouse dancer. Do you guys see these details? The textures, the attitude, the face? Literally everything about this one just gets me every single time. I actually got chills watching her, okay? Now wait, I also saw her palm combo and her improv take. A straight powerhouse that we need to watch out for, okay? We need to watch out for this one. Number 2, Amanda Fenton. Listen, if I was a college program that specialized in hip hop, I would be flooding this dancer's email with offers because what? Amanda, listen. Amanda, listen. I am a fan, okay? I am a fan. Number 3, Callie. Can someone say full out? Every single moment being a big body, full movement. Okay, you hear that? Big body, full out movement. You can tell when someone studies their music with how their movement connects to their music, and this one did just that. Did just that. Okay, go off, Callie. Let's go. Number 4. Okay, Zachary. Zachary, where did you come from? Why are you barely coming on my radar? Okay, versatile, strong, and athletic powerhouse right here. Honestly, I'm speechless. I was trying to figure out what to write, but I was just so in awe of the movement quality that this young one has, okay? Zachary, listen, I wish you the best on your recruitment journey. You clearly don't need it because you are a straight powerhouse. And if I was a college program, I'm in your email already, okay? But I cannot wait to see your future in dance. Piper. Okay, number 5, Piper. What in the levels are you doing? These levels are insane, okay? Can someone say plie? Take notes, all. Take notes, y'all. This plie is insane. Okay, the pink hair to the pink shoes with the attitude to the patience in your movement to the levels, I'm a fan. I'm a fan. Go Westmore Palm and go Piper. Huge fan. Okay, now like you just heard me say, I was saving one for last, okay? This is an LSUTG, okay? LSU Tiger Girl right here. I am a fan. I had to include this one because, listen, she's obviously in college already. She's dancing on a college program already, and you can see it. You can see it, okay? The maturity in this movement, you can see it, all right? Alex Gardner, okay? Obviously not a potential recruit, but a LSUTG that is straight up killing this combo. What absolutely got me when I learned that she learned this combo through a video, okay? And this is an intricate combo, okay? And I think it was posted like the day after the combine, okay? Like, Alex, go off, queen. Go off. The clarity, the textures, the movement, just insane. Go off, queen. Love it. There are going to be so many more segments that I'm doing, covering trends, covering recruits, covering competitions, all of it. And I want you guys to stay in touch and stay in tune and follow the journey, okay? Imagine how great it would feel to be like 2-3 years down the line. Okay, we're big. We're on ESPN. We're covering all of the competitions. You're going to hear us commentating on everything. Imagine how good it would feel to be like, I've been with No Counts Given since the beginning. So again, follow us, like us, subscribe, all of the sorts, share to your friends because I want you to. I need you to. Okay? Without further ado, let's get into the interview with Sammy McFadden, the queen of hip hop, clearly. Let's go.
Let's start with just who you are. You said you're from Denver, right?
Yeah, so I mean, people are always like, where do you live? Or where are you from? Just because I feel like I'm all over the place.
Me for the past like 3 years.
No, literally. It gets crazier too. So it's a little crazy, but I was actually born in California, born in Long Beach. That's where
I live.
Well,
I literally just moved to Long Beach in October of last year.
I love California.
Me too.
And I still have family there. My sister lives there. But yeah, born in California, but grew up in Denver.
Okay.
I grew up dancing like most of us have.
Yeah.
It's funny though, a lot of people don't know this, but I grew up really focusing on ballet. Like I was like a hardcore ballerina.
Okay.
I know, right?
I would have never guessed.
I know. I was like fully dead set on like I am going to pursue ballet. It's so funny because it's like I feel like it's one of those art forms it's hard to get kids into, and for whatever reason, when I was little, I was obsessed. I was obsessed with ballet. So I would do, I went to this studio in Denver, Belliston, and it was like they had other genres and we did other genres, but it was really focused on ballet.
Yeah.
And I was doing pointe every day, repertoire, like all the different things, Nutcracker every year. I was a hardcore ballerina until about 13, I was accepted to ABT Summer Intensive in New York, and I went there. I was supposed to be there for 6 weeks. I was there for 2 because I was like, this ain't for me. I think that was like the awakening I needed. I was like, I just started to like look around, and I was like, so many different reasons. I was like, this is not, I don't think the right path for me. My dad jokes like that was the best money we ever spent because we were waiting for you to figure it out, and like you had to figure it out on your own. But yeah, so from there I kind of shifted, went to a different studio, went to like more of a standard competitive studio that was like going to conventions, training in different styles. And then from there, a lot of people also don't know this about me. I actually did not go to LSU all 4 years. I went to University of Kansas my first year.
Oh, no way.
Yes, so I got accepted late to LSU, and so the timing of like the audition and my acceptance, all the things didn't work out, and I went to KU for my first year, was on the dance team there, but then kind of realized, I was like, I just want to be part of a more competitive program. Like LSU was always in the back of my mind still, so I actually went and auditioned as a sophomore then in college, didn't make it.
Oh.
I was cut in the yeah, so I was cut in the very last cut. Like it was like, I think there was like 3 girls that were cut in the last cut before the team, and I was one of them.
Oh no.
Yeah, so that was like my first like experience with failure, but I'm so grateful for it. It like truly shaped who I am.
Yeah, no kidding.
And at that point, I kind of was obviously greeted with like this, I was at a crossroad. Like, what do? I knew I didn't want to go back to KU. I actually considered moving to LA at that point and just like pursuing commercial dance, but then like going to like a community college. Was thinking about like, do I stay at LSU? Not sure. And I think after the experience at LSU, I was like, I had this like really strong gut feeling that I was supposed to be there, which like, thank God that I had that gut feeling. Everything happens for a reason. It's crazy. So that next year I decided to go to LSU, trained with like a bunch of high schoolers basically, because like, that's like really the only thing you can do like in a college town. I was going to the studio and like taking ballet, leaping turns, hip hop, all the things, doing privates. Tried out the next year, made it. So I was only on LSU for 2 years. And then like to spark note everything else from there, I moved to LA, got an agent, pursued commercial dance for a while, got out of LA right before COVID. And that's when I kind of started to explore teaching in choreo. I wasn't really about it, and I always joke like Carson dragged me kicking and screaming to choreograph, and I was like, I was just so dead set, and I think that this is something that I was told a lot. I don't know if this is like a common thing, but in the commercial world, people are like, if you want to be a dancer and you want to dance, like it's really hard once you cross over to the choreography side because you want to be booked as a dancer, and that's the title that you want. You kind of have to stick with that until you're ready to like fully leave that behind. I felt like I wasn't ready, so I was really against the idea of teaching in choreo, and I wasn't really sure if I like had anything to give in that area. And then Carson's like, I think that you should like maybe consider doing like choreography, like just think about it. And I was like, okay, like I'll think about it. I started doing choreography for dance teams in 2018, 2019. And my first year, I choreographed for Corral, Reef, and Carlsbad, which like, I grew up going to UDA. I guess it's a piece that I left out. In high school, I was on a high school dance team. We weren't super competitive, but we went to UDA every year. We would get like somewhere between like 10th and 15th. Like it wasn't anything super crazy. Yeah. But I grew up knowing these programs. Yeah. Like Corral, Reef, and Carlsbad are like very well-known programs within that circuit. So like when they were like, oh, like these are opportunities we want to like send your way, I was like terrified because I'm like, number one, like I wasn't even sure I wanted to do choreo. And then here I am like given these 2 programs that I know have such long-lasting like, history and legacy. And I was like, okay, sure, I'll try it. And then from there, the rest is history. I mean, I still choreograph for Coral Reef today, which is so cool that I've been able to like grow with them. And then obviously, Carson and I started doing LSU the next year together. And since then, it's just been like crazy how, I mean, I'm sure you had those moments in your life too where like you are so stubborn about one thing, like not happening in your life or wanting something different. And then kind of just like lean in and everything changed for me. And now I'm like, I'm so happy that I did because there is so much more fulfillment in teaching and choreography than there ever was for me just dancing myself. So yeah.
What was your first, so choreography wise, what was the first piece that you set on LSU?
The one with like the pants, like that opened.
Yes. Yes. I know what you're talking about.
The one that started with like formation.
Yes. Love.
Like the crop purple jacket.
Okay. between LSU, Coral Reef, I mean, you could even include Carlsbad if you want. What has been your favorite piece that you've had?
Oh my God.
And you can't say Smooth Criminal.
I can't say Smooth Criminal.
Because we're going to talk about Smooth Criminal in a second.
Smooth Criminal out. That's okay. I think 2 come to mind. Can I say 2?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. And it's mostly because of the process.
Yeah.
It's Like a Boy and Caught Up.
Love Like a Boy. You know, it was Like a Boy year, and I've talked to so many people about this, that the dance team world exploded.
Yeah.
It was
crazy.
like, it went viral. Everyone's eyes are starting to go on UDA. People that don't even watch dance or know dance at all started watching and tuning into UDA. And it was really that year, especially with social media, that everything just exploded. Since then to now, do you feel that pressure when you're going into like doing choreography jobs? Or are you like, oh shoot, I really have to top Smooth Criminal or...
I don't know if it's like direct pressure. I think it's always going to be there. Like subconsciously, I think that like myself and then, you know, for myself for Coral Reef and then myself and Carson for LSU, we have such like we are our toughest critic. And like have such a high like expectation of ourselves that as long as we feel proud of the product at the end, I know like it's good.
Yes.
Because I think that it takes a lot for us to get to that point where we're like, yes, you know? So I do think that there's for sure pressure. I think that more so it's like a feeling of just wanting to continue to push the envelope for ourselves in a way. So it's
and the industry alone.
Way. Yeah.
I feel like especially now, I mean, dance team in general does not accept different all the time. You could try and be different and you think it is going, you think it's going to do so well that all of a sudden you're finding yourself scoring low 80s, you're not making it to finals, but you brought something so fresh and so different.
Yep.
That makes me want to ask, how do you still maintain in your authentic style? Because when I see a piece, I know it's yours. The style is so authentic to you. How did you maintain that throughout like the process of trying to push the envelope and maybe some things don't work? I mean, we saw the 2,000 different variations of Smooth Criminal.
Oh yeah.
To make it to the final stage. Like, how do you stay authentic into your style going into choreography jobs?
I feel like it's like a year-round job. I think that a lot of choreographers, and this works for people, have different processes. So like I'm not throwing any shade towards anybody when I say this because I think that everyone has a different creative process. I, from the beginning, like from day one of when I started choreo, I really scaled back on the amount of jobs I took on.
Yes.
Because I wanted to be involved year-round for that reason. Because I think that there's like this piece, it's so collaborative. And I'm so lucky. The teams that I work with now, I feel like we've established this like synergy where we work really well together and things click really easily, but it's not always the case. And like, no matter what, every year, no matter what the routine is, no matter what we're doing, there's versions. There's versions A through Z.
Yeah.
And I think that requires time and like putting, as a creator and a choreographer, your ego aside and knowing like, this isn't about me. This is about the final product and what it looks like. And they are the vessel. So if I like the way I look doing something, great. But if they don't look like the way I want them to look, doing what I'm doing that I like, I have to edit.
Yes.
And
absolutely.
that edit sometimes those edits are usually the things that take forever.
Yeah.
It's like you can't figure out what it is to like make it just right. And so that's why, like with Smooth Criminal, but like it's with every routine that we do and every routine I'm involved in, there's just so many versions that you have to work through. And it will make you feel crazy of like, I feel that way every year. Are we ever going to find the version, or like the option? But then when I find it, I'm always like reaffirmed, like, okay, yes, that's why I have to go through this like mud to get to the end. But that takes time. And that's why like when I go for choreo, people think I'm crazy. I'm there for a week, like 7 days.
Yeah.
And then I
know,
go
I
back.
see that and I think you're crazy.
I am crazy, for sure. Like people are like Carson jokes, like it's funny because I've kind of gotten her to like adapt to like that style, and that's like what we do for LSU now. But like, you know, year one we only did like 4 days for LSU, and then kind of grown each year. But I'm like, she's always like, you're taking a residency every time you do choreography. I'm like, you're right. But it's like the pressure of the timeline is the worst pressure of all.
For sure.
And that's way worse than like the pressure of like, winning again. You know what I mean? That's not really what it's about for me, but
You
it's
want me
like
to
the pressure
teach
of like the hourglass turning over. I'm like,
No
it stresses me. And I need time to like, there's going to be a day during that week where I'm looking at them and nothing's coming to me. And like, I find myself getting so anxious if like, I know I don't have enough time to work through those moments.
Yeah.
So again, not everyone can like take that time. And I completely get that, but I'm like lucky enough I've been able to figure out a process that works for me and doing that. And that is why specifically like circling this back to like my favorite routines, Caught Up and Like a Boy just like flew out of my brain, Carson and I's brain for Like a Boy. Like it was, of course there's those moments where it was like, there's those days where we're like, what's gonna happen here? Or like with Like a Boy, completely changing, adding a hat in December, January.
Yeah.
Like we were crazy. But like there were for sure those things and there always will be. But as far as like choreo steps, like flow, it happened so fast because it was so natural. And like I was so inspired, we were so inspired to the point where it was just like, to me, I feel like we had to try.
Yeah.
And I think that when you find those moments, it's so fun.
Yeah.
And takes away the stress. Like those are the pieces that you like tend to lean towards like loving the most because it was like the whole journey was just like really easy.
Yeah.
Overall.
Are you an R&B girl?
It's like literally not even a question. I am a hardcore
I had a
R&B
feeling.
girl.
Your movement says it. Like it
favorite
by
genre.
assumption, it's like she grew up listening to this.
Oh, yeah.
She's on her drives vibing to this.
Yep.
I feel like how someone moves, you can tell their music preference for sure.
I love R&B.
What
Like,
would be your like biggest artist inspirations out there?
Oh, there's so many. I was born in 94, so I am a hardcore 90s.
Oh, you're only a year older than me.
People think I'm a lot younger.
I really
Did I
thought
have
you
you
were younger
fooled?
than me. You did have me fooled.
I know.
Okay.
So
I love that.
I
Good
grew
genetics.
up like being like, watching the VH1s, MTV, TRL, like that shaped me. Like the music video era, I miss it so much. As far as like one artist, probably her.
Period. We love a good queen.
I wasn't expecting that question, but it feels timely. Just like with her discography and how much she's changed, I just saw Cowboy Carter.
I was about to ask.
Oh God, it was amazing.
Yeah.
I think that, love or hate her, I think that like some people can be polarized about her, but like you cannot deny her attention to detail.
Oh, for sure.
And the production value. And I think that as a dancer and a choreographer, like that is what naturally you're drawn to is like the full picture. But there's like so many. Usher is for sure a favorite of mine.
Love Usher.
Chris Brown.
Love Chris
it's
Brown.
It's like just those like classic 2000s.
Yeah.
But I love Lauryn Hill, obviously Sierra.
We could just jam together. Let's just cut the cameras
No,
and listen
literally.
to music.
It's
for
just
sure.
like,
You're
it's so
speaking
funny.
my language.
I went on a rant the other day. I'm just like, please, Gen Z, speak to me. And like, are you guys listening to your current music and thinking that it's as good as ours? And I know I sound old saying that, but I'm just like,
no.
I keep going backwards.
No.
I keep on going further back. I'm like 90s, 80s. Like this just keeps on getting better.
Yep.
And I'm not. There are for sure those artists today. Like I love Victoria Monet.
Oh,
SZA.
Yes.
Like there's definitely those artists, but
they give the same vibes of early 2000s. So it's like
it's that common.
Exactly.
denominator.
It just connects so easily.
But yeah, I love R&B. I mean, to your point, like if I felt confident that it was always going to be appreciated and well received, I would only choreograph to R&B for like dance team. But
yeah.
Dance Team Union is a proud sponsor of the No Counts Given podcast. Dance Team Union is proud to foster a supportive and positive atmosphere unlike any other. At Dance Team Union, they believe in lifting up each other and celebrating a shared love for dance. Join DTU and immerse yourself in the incredible dance community, surrounding yourself with like-minded individuals who share your passion and enthusiasm. Experience the magic of Dance Team Union, a place where support flows freely and every dancer is celebrated. Join the movement today and be a part of something extraordinary. Learn more about their upcoming camps and competitions by visiting www.danceteamunion.com.
I know I have to play a game here, so.
Yeah. Oh, honestly. Let's talk about Coral Reef this year.
Yeah.
Because I feel like the song choice was so bold. Fallin by Alicia Keys it's a complex song to choreograph to, understand the textures, the musicality, the range in her voice. What was that process going into choreographing Coral Reef, putting this song on them? And I mean, their talent, it's Miami.
You're going to get the talented dancers in general.
I'm so lucky to have them.
Yeah. Yes, you are. So what was that process going in, finding that song selection, putting all of the details together? I just want to say I love the opening. The hair whips going down, it gets me every single time.
They're so damn good.
It just drags with the entire opening, all the way opening. I was like, oh, genius. Locked in.
Thank you so much. It's funny. I was on my flight home last year from NDTC and I started a playlist. I have a problem. Like, I don't quit. Like, I'm like constantly next idea.
Yep.
Carson's like, please give me a break. I'm like, I can't. Like, I have a problem. So I was on the plane last year, or I guess now 2 years ago, from NDTC, started a playlist. That was the first song I added. And it's funny because I work with Naja. She assists me on this job. She's been assisting me now. Like, I think will be like year 4 together. And I sent it to her, and her immediate, before even like listening, she was like, I just saw Fallin and it gave me chills. And I was like, I agree. And, you know, I was back and forth for so long, and there's actually like a really, really crazy story that would be a whole other conversation, but I went on this wild goose chase with my dear friend Tyler, who I work with to do music, to try to get the rights to Fallin.
I remember seeing the screenshot of like an email.
So I went, I mean, if you don't know, listeners, there's a lot of red tape around what you can do music-wise in our arena of dance team for specifically varsity events. I know the DTU doesn't have that, but for varsity events, there's just a lot of rules. And basically, you cannot remix a song unless you have the rights from the like publisher, the recording, or it's just like there's so many hoops to jump through.
Yep.
So I started talking to Tyler, and like I was doing my very detailed research of like, okay, like what label was Fallin under, like who owns the rights. It gets very complicated, and I basically spent, this was like over like, you know, 2 springs ago, I guess last spring, preparing for this. And I also have a friend who's in like entertainment law. My sister works for CAA, which is like one of like the biggest agencies. So I was using all my resources. I was like, I need everyone's hands on deck to try to get this to work. I actually was able to get in contact with her agent, which like the fact that I was even able to get, like, he responded to me. I'm like, that's crazy. It was giving me a lot of hope that like it was all gonna work. And basically in the meantime, like I knew time was of the essence. I was like, let me just, and this goes again, I'm crazy, but I'm like, let me just pay out of my own pocket to pay Tyler to start on a mix for this in hopes that we get the rights. Yeah. Tyler starts on the mix. It's epic. It is. I'm still like, I mean, it's
Tyler.
Oh my
Chop
God.
Jones, come on.
It was so good. Yeah. Shout out Chop Jones. You are my king. I love you so much. No, but he did his biggest one. And what I love about Tyler is like our relationship, like he cares so much about the creative integrity and like the intention behind everything too. So like we just banter back and forth, and he's in it as much as I am. And so he was working on that. We were both working together on like basically putting together what we needed to put together to ask for the rights from, I think it was Universal was like the label that we needed to get the rights from. All like the legal jargon, it took a lot out of us. It was actually Sony. It was not Universal. It was with Sony. Finally got in contact with Sony, who was like above like basically like all like clearance for music rights and things like that. And was going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And I was like, I have a deadline. Like I really need to know by this date. And we were going back and forth for a while, but then we never got a response. Oh. So it was one of those things where it was like, I was a week out from choreo. I was like, I had to make a call. And so at this point, I was like, do I go Fallin original song, or do I do a different song that has like a little bit more change up, which I'm like laughing because I'm like, had we gone in the different direction, I don't know what I was thinking. But Fallin was always it. And I was texting people that are, you know, like I have this group text with Becky, shout out Becky, and like all these different people that are alumni for Coral Reef that all help. Kristen, who's like a studio owner, who is an alumni, who's really active in helping us too. All these people that we have this like group in Miami, and I'm like, I need everyone's like final opinion. Like, please give me your ideas. Like, what do you think? Like, right now we haven't heard a response yet. I also left out the fact that I went full campaign and I made the kids do like a full video asking Alicia Keys for like,
I love that.
Permission. Oh, I was pulling out any stops. Like, if you know me, I'm gonna commit 100%. Send it to the agent. The agent's like, I'll send this to her. Like, again, no response, which sucks, but that's okay. Yeah, it all worked out the way it was supposed to. Ultimately, decided to do Fallin, and it was obviously amazing. And I think that Caught Up was special because it was like my first piece with Coral Reef that really felt so seamless. But Fallin's up there with it.
Oh, yeah.
Movement wise, Naja and I choreographed, like, I have a TikTok on my page. It's like, we choreographed so much that first night that I just knew, I'm like, okay, like when it flows like this, like we're in the right,
Yes.
we made the right choice. And then the kids just like
Ate it up.
topped it.
Oh, yeah.
Their movement quality, their dynamic, their texture, like it was just so soulful and mature. I'm like,
Yes.
it was everything.
Yeah, it was definitely very mature for the high school level. And I think that's what, I mean, Coral Reef in general, their maturity and movement is just top notch. Let's talk about music for a second because I cannot stand the music rules. It drives me crazy. I can't remember how recent it was, but I remember at some point. Okay, so I think it was Caught Up. Caught Up was not. It was cover, right? Cover and mixed, and then moving into Fallin, that was original, but just cut for time.
Yes, exactly.
Pretty much what you can do, right? It blows my mind how there are so many competition circuits out there that don't have any music restrictions, but Varsity has these music restrictions.
Yeah, it's tough because I grew up obviously competing, you know, for LSU and obviously in high school, and they didn't kick in until after I was out of school. Actually, I remember the first time, my senior year, we had ranked 4th in jazz, and that was like huge for us. And so we were like excited to be featured on the ESPN package. And that was the first year that they covered music over, but it wasn't for, the rule wasn't in place for like our nationals music. It was just implemented for the ESPN package. But I'm so grateful I didn't have to dance to that, because I think that for the first, like, there was a learning curve, and there still is, like, you know, where everyone was like, okay, well, we have to go with cover music. And this cover music is just brutal. I mean, it is kids bop.
It is bad. It's terrible.
And as a choreographer that has to choreograph to it, I'm just like, that's why I started making this massive shift, and I have been only doing really like one song and trying to find those songs that can hold their own for 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Because I have looked at those cover sites inside out. I have a Google sheet. It's so much. And like, thank God for Tyler. Like, he really did an amazing job making some really bad music sound
really good. No kidding.
But it's just, I think that it is so limiting when it comes like to the creative side, and puts so much red tape. And there's so many rules, and then like that is like the leading, I feel like, block for creatives when it comes to choreographing in the dance team world. And it's interesting because there's so many people now, you know, from like the industry that are now coming over into the dance team world to choreograph, which is amazing. But it's like the onboarding of like, hey, by the way, like, we have all these rules. You can't do this, you can't do that. And like, music
Here's your two websites. Go find your music.
You can't add a snare, you can't do this. Like, you have to do the exact song cut for time, like you said.
Yeah.
If you're competing at a varsity event. And I understand the like, you know, the morals behind like attributing these artists and making sure that they are, you know, like the copyright issue. I get that.
Yeah.
But I think that if I had to guess, there's like a bigger issue behind the live stream, because that's where the money is coming from.
Yeah.
Online. It's like these people are paying for the Varsity TV, and then like being able to see these routines, that it's a hefty penny that they're making on this money being on this music being live streamed. If I had to guess, that's where like these labels are starting to crack down. I don't know. Do they really care about the dance competition?
That's what I wonder as well too. Like, if it's do they really care about the dance competition side? Is it funds and money that are going into it? But also, I feel like it's something that's very underappreciated, but dance brings a lot of streams to music. I mean, I guarantee you, if you look up Like a Boy after January, I'm sure the streams went up like crazy.
I think I screenshotted it, actually.
Oh, I would love to see it.
I forget what it was, but no, it did. It was like, for sure, I remember having a screenshot of that. But yeah, I mean, I think that, and that's why I don't think it's always down to the artist. I think it's these labels that, for sure are.
I feel like artists wouldn't care if I think
it depends, but like, I think a lot of artists, like, they love dancers. Like, there's a lot of artists that are, you know, so supportive of dancers and what they bring to their music.
Yeah.
Especially on the social media platform of things. Like, they are bringing so much light and so much positivity, and like talk about like bringing a song like, you know, back from like a while ago and like regaining new energy and like a new, you know, attention towards it.
Yeah.
I think that any artist would love that, but I think that when there's money involved and people are making money off of it, like that's where I think things can get a little cross. And so that's why I think that because of the cost behind the live stream, like that's where I would guess. This is like my educated guess of like where the label is like, well, you're making $35 per head off this like massive event, you know, that they're watching online.
And we're not getting anything.
And we're not getting any cut. So now I know that there's like these like blanket deals that you can purchase. Like where, you know, like it's a hefty penny.
Oh, I'm
but
sure.
Like you'd have to cover that. And I don't think that Varsity, I know that Varsity hasn't done that. That's why, you know, we have the rules that we do. But I would love nothing more than like to have like an open conversation about that. Cause I think that like taking steps towards finding solutions would be just so helpful. I mean, I think about like, it's almost overwhelming, like the options and the things we could do if there were no music rules.
Oh, 1,000%.
It would be so
1,000%.
It would just be like a weight lifted off my shoulders.
Yeah.
Because I think that's why I never stopped listening to music and I'm going nonstop. It's like finding these songs that feel right for 2 minutes. They're hard to find.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I am looking for someone very educated in the music industry to interview because I have a lot of questions and I want to know like the insides and outs. So if anyone out there knows, let me know. Send them my way. I would love to talk with them. I would love to hear
that too.
Yeah, I really want to know. I want to go into originality for a second.
Okay, let's do it.
So by the time this airs, it would probably be like 3 weeks ago. TikTok was a little on flames. I was ready to bet. I was like, we ride at dawn for Sammy. We are not playing.
I know, you're so sweet.
I want to say though, you did mention in your caption that it wasn't about the kids, and I think it was very clear that it wasn't about the kids. I was in the comment section talking to people. I ended up deleting a lot of my comments because all I said was, "Oh, that's not ... and people were like trying to find me. I was like, "Oh, this is crazy."
Yeah, TikTok is a Wild West.
It is, and I am a strong supporter of that. Choreographers should protect their originality and their visual ideas. Costume, music, formation changes. I mean, I watch dance competitions at this point for a living. Yeah. The amount of times I'm like, oh, Ohio State, oh, Minnesota, UNLV, oh, I saw that one. Like, I see it all the time, and it makes me like kind of wonder, like,
for sure,
where does the line cross between inspiration and imitation?
I just think that obviously there's so much gray area within that question, but I think that when you have taken something exactly as it was and haven't put any sort of new twist on it, that is plagiarism. And
1,000%.
And I think that is, unfortunately, you're right. It happens so much in the dance team world. And I think that we have to get over the fact that, like, in order to be better and to, like, protect the legitimacy and the quality of our world, you have to call a spade a spade. Yep. And that makes people uncomfortable sometimes, but it's not about hate. It's not about tearing down kids. It was never about that. No. Just to, like, fill in, to give some background, like, there was, some dancers that had the exact costume that we created for Smooth Criminal. And I think there was this massive debate that started because they're like, well, it's Michael. Like, of course you're going to wear a fedora and a suit. And I'm like, 100%. Yeah, of course you are. Yeah. Or, like a button down and a fedora. Like, it's going to be Michael. Of course it is. But I think when you see an exact replication of a costume that, and that's what I said in my video, is that to some, to most people, it probably seems like an obvious choice. Like, white suit, because Smooth Criminal, like, this is what it is. But, like, the amount of work and effort that Carson and I put in to, like, get to that final mock-up, and then our amazing, designer, Queen of Sparkles, who, like, put that together, the prototypes, the work that we put into arriving at that final concept did take several phases and a lot of time and work that most people don't see unless you're involved on the back end. And so I think that it becomes disheartening, and that is for choreography, costume, like you said, like any of those things, when you take so much time to create this idea and then you just see it copy and pasted in any arena. It's tough.
Yeah.
And I think that there needs to be, you know, more awareness around it to uphold higher quality within this competition world.
I agree.
You see it all the time on TikTok. Copying a choreography. I mean, it's been happening since, you know, the beginning of time. I do think there's a line when it comes to choreo. If there's, you know, a genre, a step, like, you know, there's certain things that you can take a step and you can make it different based off the sequencing, levels, like.
It makes me question of like, what are you teaching the kids at that point?
Right.
Like, they know Smooth Criminal. They know UNLV, and they see that you're copying it. It's almost teaching the future of this sport that this is okay. And I feel like that's where it needs to stop. It's like the coaches and gym owners and choreographers.
It's the adults that are involved that know better. Yeah.
Exactly. For sure. And this is just my 2 cents, but if your choreography is taking other people's choreography, you're not a choreographer.
No,
You're just a copycat at that point.
First of all, I know that so many coaches start off because of like budgetary reasons, like having to choreograph themselves.
Yeah.
And I get that that's like sometimes a hole you can't get out of for a little bit, but like if you do have the ability to like hire out, do so, and like do your due diligence and like researching and like really talking to that person and making sure it's a good fit. I mean, I could go on and on about that. Like that's.
Yeah. And if it is budget reasons, I feel like there's ways you could work around it. You could contact a college dancer who
might
so
many
be
kids
looking.
Out there that are getting started.
There are so many out there that are wanting to get started, and like do your research and find like where these kids come from, what's their background, what's their inspiration.
Yeah. 100%.
And it kind of gives them a foot. And you know what? You might find your match. You might not know who's going to blow you away.
Try. Yeah.
Absolutely. What's next for Sammy? You just moved to not Denver. You just moved here to Dallas, you said, right?
Yeah.
Why did you move here?
Again, like,
girl,
where
it's
do you live?
hot.
Yeah, so
I stepped out the airport and I was sweating.
Well,
I was
it's like record-breaking heat. I mean, I don't really know. I don't consider myself like a local yet. It's very fresh. I actually moved like at the worst time. So I am married. My sweet husband, he works in medical device sales.
Oh, let's go.
And he got promoted. Go Connor.
Go Connor.
To Dallas. But it was like, it's actually a very funny story. I'm at choreography for LSU with Carson. We're in the car. I'm like, we're depleted. I'm like driving. There's like no music playing. We're just like, and Connor calls, so it's on the speaker, and he's like, hey, so like I did just get a call. Like I got a promotion. Like I think we're gonna move to Dallas. And I was like,
yay.
Blink. And Carson like looks over at me, and I'm like, I felt bad in the moment because I'm like, I should have been like, congratulations. Like, been able to like, I was just like so depleted, and I'm like laughing because I'm like, of all times, like, and then we wound up having to move. Like, it was a quick transition. We moved literally right during the holidays.
Oh.
So it's like leading up to the nationals. So I was like, it was like in the middle of the holidays, in the middle of nationals. It was so hectic, but I'm like, it ain't nothing new. We've moved every 2 years. So we've lived in LA.
Mm-hmm.
Then Denver. We went back to Denver during COVID. Then Atlanta. Then Louisiana. Now here.
Wow.
People are like, is he in the military? I'm like, no. Just like...
You know what's funny? I was going to ask that. Everyone's
like, oh, military. I'm like, no. Just medical device sales. So yeah, no. But I mean, like, I'm just, a firm believer of God's plan. And I'm just like, you know what?
Absolutely.
And this is where I'm supposed to be. And this is where I'm supposed to be. But yeah. So it's new. But I'm excited. I honestly, as far as like what's new, I mean... I just am always trying to like find new outlets of like where I can share, educate, choreograph. I mean, I would love to get into like more like creative director work. That's like my end goal for sure. I don't know if end goal is the right word because like I'm one of those people that like
you get that goal, then you're like, okay, what's next?
Yes, but I'm also just like always a student and I just like love learning and evolving. Yes. And that's like been the case since the beginning. So I just love seeing how like the full picture of things come together. That's like my favorite part of choreography. But so continuing to do that, I mean, I love dance team work. It's brought me, I feel like, so much joy, and I am so. I mean, the kids I work with, both at Reef and LSU, like I literally feel like those are my kids, and they truly fulfill me on such another level and give my life so much purpose. Like I'm so lucky to work with them. But I am hoping that I can like add to that in other like avenues of the dance world where I can, continue to like share my voice and my ideas at different platforms and arenas within the dance world. So we'll see.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, I wish you the best of luck. It is already time.
I told
I'm
you.
like so mad.
I'm like, we can do this for 3 hours.
We're gonna have a part 2.
Part 2.
I'm gonna get my other $6 Frontier flight. Let it be delayed for 12 hours.
Well, and I'm always in California too because my sister lives there.
No way. Like Southern California.
Yeah.
Let me know
My
next
sister's in
time.
Huntington, so.
Oh, girl, that's like literally my neighborhood. Okay, next time you're in, let me know.
I will.
Because we could do a part 2.
I know, we need to.
We're gonna need one.
Yes, for sure.
Well, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
It was so fun.
It was so much
seriously.
fun. It
and
felt
good luck
too
with
quick.
everything with this podcast. You're amazing.
Thank you.
And
I
thank you
appreciate
for
it.
always being such a voice of authenticity and like protection
Thank
for
you.
our art because
Thank you.
more of that.
Yeah.
You know?
And I will continue to do so.
And I love that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to episode 2 of the No Counts Given podcast. Listen, if you watched episode 1, I was just thinking about this. If you watched episode 1 and you're following us on TikTok, you would see that we had a pretty good debate, I would say, in one of our TikTok video comments that was posted on Tuesday this week. And I'm going to include a poll. If you're watching on Spotify, I'm going to include a poll. I think I know how to do it on YouTube, so I might do it on YouTube as well too. But we had a pretty good debate, and so I'm going to have a poll, and I want everyone to answer below. The question is, whether you're a high school dancer, high school coach, college dancer, college coach, dance mom, dance dad, dance grandma, I want you to answer this question. How important do we see studio training for dancers that want to make it onto an elite college competitive team? And I want to emphasize the competitive aspect. Yes. One thing that I've learned talking to coaches recently, specifically top competitive elite coaches, is that we're not really looking for that traditional palm technique anymore. Game day can be easily learned as long as you have the body awareness and the spatial awareness and know how to use and engage your muscles correctly, right? However, I really want to know, how important do we see studio training now for dancers that want to make it onto an elite college team? Okay. Next thing is, I'm looking for I'm looking for high school dance coaches and studio owners that want to be a part of a conversation regarding this topic, regarding the topic of studio training and high school training, the benefits of both, what might take away from one and give to the other. I want to have a conversation. So if you are that person, studio owner or high school coach, please do me a favor. Send us a DM on the No Counts Given Instagram or TikTok, or my personal Instagram or TikTok. I'm starting to work around this and get to this conversation being had because I think it's an important conversation that should be had in our dance team community space. And I want it to come from the leaders directly, high school coaches and studio owners. So reach out to me. Okay. Next week on the No Counts Given podcast, I am very excited. We have Bianca from the Arizona State University Sun Devils, an elite team, used to dominate at UDA, switched over to Dance Team Union's the College Classic. I was able to sit with her right before the College Classic, which is Dance Team Union's College Nationals, began, and we had a great conversation. It's a long conversation. I think we were talking for like an hour and a half. It was a chef's kiss conversation. It was so good. Make sure you're tuning into it because I think it's going to inspire a lot of people, but the knowledge behind it's top tier. Okay. It's top tier. Tune in for it. Okay. I might also have another segment next week. It's working in my head. I'm working on it. Okay. I might have it next week. So if you're not tuning in, which means you got to be following, you got to like us, you got to subscribe, you got to share it with your friends, rate it on Spotify. Okay. Trust me. It helps the team. Rate us on Spotify. Okay. My goal is like 15 stars. I don't know what to say. 15 rates by next week's episode. I think we're on 8 right now. So we need 7 more. 7 more. Rate us on Spotify. Thank you again, everyone, for tuning in to the No Counts Given podcast. I am just so happy to be here. I love everyone that's watching, and have a great rest of your Thursday or Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever day you're watching this. Take care.